All right, we are live. It's the Spin and Backfist MMA show for Wednesday, July 31st. We've got some good fights to talk about this week. I'm excited to talk about some of these fights this week. We've got a great UFC card, UFC Abu Dhabi. We've got a great PFL card as well. Shout out to the PFL for sponsoring the show as well. The PFL playoffs kick off this Friday, August 2nd, with women's flyweights and heavyweights headed to Nashville. These guys are headed to Nashville. They'll be at the card as well. It's win or go home as fighters compete for a spot in the $1 million PFL World Championship. Don't miss the action. Friday, August 2nd. Again, this Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Plus. If you're looking to attend in person like Jack and Ev, there are tickets still available. So go check it out on the PFL's website. It's a great card, though. We interviewed Dakota Ditcheva ahead of this card. That's on the channel now, so go check that out as well. It was a good interview. Cool getting to talk to like a rising superstar who really, truly doesn't pay attention to a lot of the hype surrounding her. And like a lot of people say that, I did believe it when she told us that.
I was about to even tweet out the clip about Dakota saying that she didn't really even know, because I asked her, "Hey, you're big on social media too. You notice when people follow you?" And she said, "Not really. My brothers or friends tell me." And it seemed very genuine. Now she could be working us, but I don't think she is. And
I don't
also,
think so either.
if you are at the PFL this week on Friday, please come and say hi to Evan and I. We'll talk to you for as long as you want. Probably not 5 hours, but
I was gonna say it. That's a too gracious an offer. As long as you want, it's crazy.
But we'd love to say hi to anybody who's in attendance. Any spinning back fist. We need to have like a name for the
back fisters, the fisters.
Yeah. The fisters. I don't think that's gonna. No, brother. No.
And I hope some of the fighters are sticking around in Nashville the next night. Pup Punk is playing. Maybe some of the fighters will come.
Yeah, maybe Dakota. We can get the whole family.
Yeah, we should shoot the invite out. Yeah,
her whole family comes to every event, she said, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah, come support their own. So check out PFL this Friday, August 2nd. And like I mentioned, we got a great UFC card this weekend. UFC Abu Dhabi. Back to Fight Island, the location of Fight Island, and really, really fun fights top to bottom. Before we get into that, is there any news that we want to break down? There were some fight announcements I saw.
Yeah, and then also, there was obviously we talked after the card, but the Aspinall,
oh yeah,
John Jones really took it into a next gear. I mean, I think it's the number one fight to make in combat sports. Everyone wants to see it, and who knows if we'll get it. Tom said that he wants to be and potentially will be the backup for when they come to New York. I'd rather it be a situation where it was a true lead up, but we'll see.
I wanted to talk. I'm glad you said that because I like that. And Dana said it in the post presser that he 100% will be in New York and will be the backup. And I think considering these two and where they're at in their careers, injuries, I think this is one where I think it actually makes a lot of sense, because I think if one of them pulled out this time, Aspinall's fighting him. That's it. That's just what's going to happen. And in the world of MMA, it feels like the luck we have, somehow John Jones is going to hurt again, and then Aspinall will just end up fighting Stipe, which I mean would still be a great fight. I think people would still love to see that. But Jack said it best too. I think now we're at Aspinall has been dominant enough, and the way he's just knocking everyone out in 2 minutes, it's like people just want to see that fight. I think Robbie said it before. I think they're the perfect when there's a great fight is when there's two sides of people are very opinionated on. I think if you go on the internet right now, there's a lot of people like me that are like Aspinall. There's a lot of people that are like, no way, John Jones smokes him. He never not good enough, take him into deep waters. But I think when you have that, that's the perfect sign of a big time fight. And I think we have that with these two if they ever fight.
Did you see what Ariel said about Tom Aspinall? How he thinks the UFC is not pushing him enough as a superstar. He said he's the perfect superstar, which I agree with Ariel here. Family man, he's very low key. He's funny. He can take a joke. And also on top of it, I mean, he's international, but he's not international in the sense that he obviously he's English speaking, so that adds another layer. And he's a really good guy too. I genuinely feel it. And then also on top of it, he has a son that I believe has autism or Down syndrome, and he's very supportive of that. So like, I mean, this man he's like a poster child for just being almost perfect, and he doesn't lose.
Yeah.
He wins in a minute.
He wins like that every time.
What?
He wins like that every time. Like he's got the shortest. Like that's the greatest like fight stat you could pair with him. Shortest fight time in UFC history, like average.
Crazy that it was 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and then it just went down after this past fight.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
It is. Yeah, I don't know what more they could be doing to push him. That's a tough thing where it's like at some point it's just like he's in these co-main events. He's got the title. I mean, maybe you give him the John Jones fight, but it's like obviously they don't want to do that. I do think he told us like when I think Eva said like if you had to put a percentage on it, like where like do you think you could get the John Jones fight? He was like 10 to 20%. I feel like this weekend has at least raised that to like 20 to 30%. At the very least.
I just wonder, but I mean, he explained it well, where it's like it's almost like the more Aspinall wins, it's like, does that help it or hurt it? Because the more risk he poses, and he said about himself, like obviously I'm not poo-pooing him, but he's like, I'm too big of a risk and not a big enough name.
Yeah.
But I do think it's weird, like it grows in the sense that his name is definitely getting bigger and bigger with each performance, but also you're seeing the risk is bigger and bigger that he touches people and they get.
Where do we stand on
touch for a second by Blades? Like he definitely got hit with like a pretty big shot, and I was glad he showed that because he's shown that I think in the Pavlich fight and this fight. Granted, it's only one, but they're heavyweights. So I mean, to take a shot, he like kind of ate a big shot, and then Blades kind of said in his kind of like addressing the loss, like I touched him, I got excited. I threw away the game plan, and then I got caught.
Which is a continued issue for Blades at this point, where he's fallen in love with his hands.
Where do we stand on the timing of this card? And Dana upped the bonuses and then said, I'm never fucking doing that again because no one went for a finish. And everyone's like, hey, buddy, like the card was at 4 a.m. for some of these fighters. And also, do you think it affected Leon at all? He did say in his post-fight in the ring, and I don't know if he was really doing it was like excuses and whatnot, but he did say in the ring, I felt weird the whole week with the sleeping and whatnot. But then again, I mean, we heard before that he worked, and Ariel confirmed this. He worked with an F1 specialist for sleep. And Bilal quote tweeted and was like, I just bought something off of Amazon for $15.
Bilal's been playing it good since the win. Yeah, he's definitely having his victory lap over all the haters and whatnot. Respect to him for that. I don't know how much to buy into this sleep thing because I was sort of buying into it until we talked to Tom and he was like, I don't know, you're telling me like you could be the baddest man in the world at midnight, but not at 4 a.m. Like, the quote made me recontextualize it and be like, huh. Tom had an interesting quote about it too, where he was like kind of up for like 22 hours leading into the fight. He just like thought he would be able to get a nap in. And I guess the adrenaline was too much. And he was just laying in bed, like going through every scenario in his mind. It is messed up. I hope they never do this again. I don't think they even did it on purpose because they said it was like the Salt Lake City rescheduling or whatever. But yeah, probably shouldn't do it ever again. Dana in the post-fight presser being like, I'm never doing that again. No, that really made me laugh, that clip. He was like, it made nobody fight harder. And then somebody was like, but it was 4 a.m. He's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't like it was late excuse. As a Leon rider, does nothing for me. Bilal fought at the same time. He had to fly overseas to your country in a different time zone and do it. He said Leon had he invested in the coaching and this and that. Doesn't do it for me. The excuse doesn't do it for me there. He lost. He came out flat. He fought like shit. I think he would even say that. His coach said something about that he had some some like back injuries, or I think it was that were like hampering him a little bit. That he didn't wrestle the amount he needed to. It's always funny when they give these little like diatribes after where he does this whole thing like making the back excuse, but then at the end he's like, "But credit to Bilal, we're not making any excuses. He won."
Yeah.
And it's like you just said he had a back injury. He didn't get to do enough like wrestling preparation for someone that can wrestle like Bilal. Blah blah blah.
But no excuses.
Yeah, he lost. And then Makayev.
See ya.
Yeah, some people are angry about this, though. Some people were online very mad. They said that it was unfair that top fighters should be fighting in the UFC, yada, yada, yada. Then our guy, Ben the Bane Davis, reported that Makayev was negotiating with the PFL before his contract was up. Now, I don't know if that's like that bad of a like people negotiate. It's a business.
I believe he's gone back on that report. Not that he has gone back, but he learned more information from Tim Simpson, who is Makayev's manager, who allegedly, I believe, just denied that. And I think Ben put out not like a retraction, but like, here's the update.
Interesting.
So that's the latest on it, I believe. And Makayev was like, yeah, I didn't talk to the PFL. Like, you all bought into it. Like, they didn't even have a weight class for me.
Yeah, I agree. Like, why would they? And also, yeah. So, yeah, Makayev, I mean, I'm not 50-50. I'm 80-20. Like, I get why they cut him. Also, there may be some things behind the scenes, but no.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it was just they allegedly warned him about the style, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with you warning like a fighter and being like, nobody likes to watch you fight. Like, you gotta change things up if you want to get re-signed. It's not like they cut him over this. Like, he fought through the end of his contract. On the last fight of his contract, he went and made huge issues for everyone with the security brawl, you know, in the hotel or whatever. And then he goes and tries to pull that shit before the fight this time and then puts on the worst fight ever. I think that was like a no-brainer. Like, yeah, you're not getting re-signed after that, dude. The juice ain't worth the squeeze.
Hell no. He's a headache, and he's not. I mean, like the people that keep being like, oh, like he's been this like dominant fighter in the UFC. I'm like I get he's 7-0, but he has been far from dominant. You could make a strong argument he lost his last 2 fights.
Yeah.
Like, he was down on the cards to Tim Elliott in third round. He pulled it out. Credit to him. Like, no disrespect there, but acting like he's been this like dominant champion, like, or not champion, this dominant fighter that's been like running through the flyweight division is just so far from the truth.
Do you want to get into this weekend's card?
Yeah, let's do it.
Also, McGregor just got slapped with a 2-year driving ban. I don't know if you guys saw that. He can't
Where,
drive for the
in
next 2
Ireland?
years.
No.
Yeah.
What
They said he was facing jail time, which I always kind of roll my eyes at. It's like, we know Conor McGregor's not going to jail over like reckless driving or whatever. But yeah, he avoided jail time, got slapped with a 2-year ban. So I've already thrown my hat in the ring. Like, if he wants me to be his turtle, I'm there.
Yeah, no, you should drop
game.
everything. You should
Move
drop
to Ireland, learn how to drive on the other side of the road.
Yeah, just drop everything. I know you just got engaged, but just tell your now fiance, hey, we're going to Ireland because I'm the personal driver of Conor McGregor now.
I'm gonna be a chauffeur, driving Miss Daisy style, driving Mr. McGregor.
Yes.
Did you see Sean call him out? Oh yeah, Sean O'Malley called out McGregor this weekend and was like, I genuinely think I could beat him in a fight. It's kind of like the Incredibles, when like the villain was like, he was a fan of Mr. Incredible for so long, and then it's just like, no, you said one bad thing about me, and now Sean hates him.
Well, McGregor keeps doing this thing where he like talks shit and like walks it back and then like talks shit again. I don't know if McGregor just like forgets like the things he says, because he did on the live stream. He like poo-pooed him, and then he was like, "Oh no, I didn't actually like mean that. Like, good to him." And then he was like, "Nah, never mind. Fuck that guy." So I think now Sean's officially like, you know what? Fuck you.
And Sean got into it with Marab over stuff that Tim Welch said. There was that clip that went out this week where Marab was like, I wanted to smack Tim Welch when I saw what he said. And Sean is like, you should do it. Like, I recommend you go up to it. He'll fight you. If you want to fight him, he's down. Like, there's weight classes for a reason. He'll murder you, but he'll fight you. It was a funny clip.
Well, so much of it was from they didn't like that in the Aljo fight that they thought like Tim Welch was talking shit to Aljo.
Yeah.
Like during it, like after. And I know that caused a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, it's like time to go, Aljo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
we're
right.
gonna get
Time to go.
we're working on scheduling it, but we're gonna get Tim on the show hopefully next week.
Oh fuck yeah, would love that.
Yeah, he's where I talked to one of our favorite people that helps us schedule things, Peggy, and she's just working out the schedule.
Oh yeah, Tim's awesome, and then also he's a big guy, man. Like, and he's in good shape. He's a tank in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to fight him. I know Marab can, but yeah, and we're officially in the Bilal Championship era, which feels
crazy.
a little weird. I've had a few moments where I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this has happened.
Like that, it just never felt like he was going to be the champ, and I don't say that out of like disrespect. He was just never in that position where it's like, oh yeah, and then you could see Bilal will win a fight, get a title shot, and it was just like crazy. There's some cool pictures of him afterwards, like with the title hanging out of the car and shit. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's like, this is my city now, because he was but Leon's from Birmingham, right?
Yeah, he's not from Manchester.
Anyways, let's get into this card.
Let's get into the UFC card this weekend first, and then we'll talk a little bit about the PFL card as well. The UFC card, this was the one that was supposed to have Nick Diaz on it originally, Diaz and Luque. That would have been wild. It was one of those, when they announced it, we were like, that came out of fucking nowhere. That's insane that Nick Diaz is coming back, but we'll believe it when we see it. And yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And then they asked Dana, they're like, do you anticipate him fighting in 2024? He was like, immediately, no.
Why did he put him on the card?
It's crazy that he feels that strongly after having booked him to go in an event like a big fight.
Booked him.
Yeah. Literally across the world.
Yeah.
I love how Dana just will he'll do something and he'll do it emphatically. Just like the fighter bonuses, be like, this is such a great idea, and then it fails. He's just like, fuck this. He's just like, fucking, he was like, nah, Nick Diaz isn't fighting. What a fucking stupid question. It's like, you booked him.
The card kicks off with Tululin versus Dumas. Cedric Dumas versus Denis Tululin. Dumas minus 225, Tululin plus 185. Is there any play on that one?
I mean, I don't know if I want to lay.
Well, that's what I mean.
No, I don't
know. Laying minus 225.
I don't know if I should lay minus 225 on Cedric Dumas, but like I want to. I want to do it.
I genuinely think he's going to win. I really believe that he's going to win. I really believe he's the better fighter than Denis Solian. But I agree, it's one of those like, you don't know what Dumas is going to do.
No, he doesn't know what he's going to do.
But like NPI just said, this man's got lawyer fees. This man's got money. He needs money.
Yeah, he's got alimony.
I don't need money. Dumas need money.
Did you guys see the picture of him and Shara? We put it on the Spin and Backfist page.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was you or
That's our pick for the president.
Two characters right there. Two absolute characters.
Those two guys are on. I'd listen to a podcast between them.
I would love to just know, what that brief interaction was like before the picture even.
I would assume it was, oh, you're in UFC? I'm in UFC? Dap up and
let's take picture.
Yes, they don't.
All right, maybe a Dumas play there, or maybe a Tululin player, or
no,
Dumas.
No Tululin. Like I would not. I'm not taking.
Jai Herbert versus Rolando Bedoya. I'm almost surprised Jai Herbert wasn't on the card in Manchester, just because he's from England. But I don't know. Jai Herbert minus 135 here. I like him, but he's been a little unreliable.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do with this because it's like you want to lay juice on Jai Herbert. He may be better than Bedoya, but
Bedoya, what do you think, Ev? I was just gonna look up Bedoya.
Yeah, I kind of have the same thoughts. Like honestly, like I think Herbert like definitely can win here, and I don't think the line's like crazy. It's more like it's just like the length because we have seen Herbert have some like decent performances, but we also seen him have some bad ones. I'll pick Herbert. Like I think I'm not sure if I'm gonna play like actually bet it because Bedoya has kind of been weird too because like he came out late notice. He had that really like competitive like good fight with Chaos Williams at 170. Then he's kind of been like since then. So I don't know if I almost feel like the line is almost still holding on to Bedoya doing that to Chaos Williams like over like a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm gonna bet it, but I'm picking Herbert to win.
Yeah, I'm close to a Bedoya bet, but I don't know if I'm gonna get there.
The next fight, Victoria Dudakova versus Sam Hughes. Dudakova is minus 162, Sam Hughes plus 136. I feel like neither of them have like the best competition. Obviously, Dudakova's 8-0, and Sam Hughes 8-6. From what I've seen, I feel like Dudakova is way better than Sam Hughes.
Yeah, I mean, Dudakova's like,
I don't think she's great from what I've seen, but like Sam Hughes, like I don't know if there's a single like win she has that is like very impressive.
I mean, Sam Hughes is 8-6 in her in her MMA career.
Elise Reed, that knockout, is that the best win of her career? Like it probably is.
She makes life hell for when you fight her because she just like runs forward. But if you start to land on her, you land a jab, you deal like her cardio is insane. So that's why I kind of look at it in terms of she used to be like a long distance runner. Then again, this is a long trip for her across the world. This is probably her last fight in like if she probably needs to win this. Dudakova can take a loss. So yeah, I think I may end up on Sam Hughes. Get her wrestling going, get some takedowns going. She's going to keep fighting. Like she just keeps coming forward. And like, let's not forget, with Dudakova, she fought Jinyu Frey, right? Who was like,
yep.
But Jinyu's like what, 55 or something now? But yeah, I mean, but yeah, I don't know. I just think I really do think Sam Hughes can get it going. Oh, Dudakova is the woman. She said after the fight, she had the staph infection in a place that we're not going to mention.
That's right.
In between, I think she said.
In between, yes, correct.
Yeah. The two, yeah, you got it. Yeah. I think she said it was in between.
Yeah. That's not a spot I would ever wish anyone gets a staph infection. Not my worst enemy. Then we've got Guram. You like Sam Hughes?
Yeah, I like Hughes.
Oh, interesting.
I'd plus money. I don't mind it.
Then we've got Kudaladze versus Vucenic. Kudaladze minus 218. Vucenic plus 180. Jordan Vucenic. I don't know how to feel about that. Like probably Kudaladze, but again, like I don't know if I want to bet minus 218.
Guram is just, I'm a big fan of Guram. He's had some weird, like him. I almost feel like that Elvis Brenner loss, like I don't want to say like broke his like career, but that just felt like that was like a turning point in his trajectory where he has a tough fight with Ismagulov that was really close that he didn't get. Then he has that one where he's clearly up 2 rounds and gets knocked out in the third by Brenner, which was a great performance by Brenner on that. That was an awesome moment, but I don't know. It's crazy because if you think about that, like if that doesn't happen, you feel like he's minus 300 plus here. Like you think he's a way bigger favorite. But I also agree with Robbie where I have a little bit of hesitation. I do think he wins. I don't know if I'm going to lay him on his 220. It's almost like I want to see what he looks like. I want to take a fight off for him and just see, like, show me what you got and then get back on the train maybe moving forward. But I want to say Vucenic, has he even fought in the UFC yet? Or he has once maybe?
I think once.
Because he wasn't a Cage Warriors guy?
Let me see.
I thought he was a Cage
This is
Warriors
his debut.
guy.
You're right. He is.
So that's like a guy like Guram with his experience and his like skill level versus a guy who hasn't fought in the UFC. There's part of it that is enticing.
Yeah.
And
This guy's got all submission wins. He just fucking chokes people out instantly.
Yeah, that leads me more to like Guram even more.
Yeah.
If he's so like just Jack in the chat saying he fought in Cage Warriors like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm saying I knew he was
July
a Cage
20th.
Warriors guy.
July 20th, he got a 1-minute guillotine choke win. What is up next? Oh, Shamil. We got a heavyweight matchup. Shamil and Dontel Mays, legend of the program. I mean,
yeah,
Shamil's gonna beat him.
This
I mean,
is one of those
Shamil-
you go way up in level and then you go way back down.
Yeah.
You go up to Rosenstrike, you get your face jabbed off. You're like, okay, not there yet. But then you go to
Yep.
Dontel Mays, and I like Shamil.
Let's remind people I could knock,
Yeah.
someone out. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Shamil here. Parlay piece even. I think he's much better than Mays.
Dontel Mays. He should be better than Mays, right? His striking, and then also, I mean, in his defense, we didn't really think he could get through like round 2 or round 3, and his cardio was still fine. They stopped the fight because he was just getting like literally, as Ab said, his face jabbed off, which makes me feel a little bit better about if you wanted to lay a price like this on him, because he kind of answered those questions that he will go further into a fight. And Dontel Mays does not hit harder than Rosenstrike. I don't know necessarily how Dontel would finish him. So yeah, Shamil looks enticing, but minus 205 on I don't want to call him a prospect anymore, but a heavyweight, that's kind of It could be. It's definitely a recipe for disaster.
Then we've got Muhammad Yahya versus Kau Fernandez. Fernandez fought once in the UFC. He fought who did he fight? Mark Diakase. And he lost, but he's a huge favorite in this one. He is minus 395 to Yaya's plus 310.
Now,
yeah, I'm gonna be on Yahya.
Yahya is the infamous Breeden moment, correct? Or am I misremembering the guy?
You're misremembering the guy.
Is it not
yeah.
Yahya? Who did Breeden do that to? Was Yahya on that card?
Yeah, he was on that card. Wait, maybe you're thinking Yahya was Trevor Peak, where they
Okay.
Jubilee, was it Jubilee?
Jubilee, yes, okay. Jubilee was it. You're right.
When he started barking at him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was amazing.
That was one of those
chanting USA in his face.
I just want to think about that moment.
Yeah, it was great. It was great stuff.
I like Yahya here.
You're gonna take a shot on Yahya?
Yeah, I think why not?
Plus
Why
310.
not?
Yeah,
Yahya is
principle.
Yeah, and also Yahya, listen to this. He's the UAE warrior. I mean, like, this guy he's a warrior.
In Abu Dhabi, yeah.
He's fighting in Abu Dhabi. He's the UAE warrior. It's a short trip for him, and I'm excited to see him get a W this weekend and cash a big ticket. I'm not a big fan of Kau Fernandez. This guy fought, and Diakase. Like, I mean, what?
That's his only UFC fight, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean,
Weird that he's like minus 400 here.
It makes I'm so confused.
What's up next? Alonzo Menafield versus Azamat Mirzakhanov. Azamat minus 205. Alonzo Menafield plus 170. This might be one where I would take a shot on Alonzo Menafield.
I was thinking the same, but I'm still like
plus 170. That's starting to get up there.
Like what happened with Olberg? It was such like he always got knocked out so fast, but he came into it stupid. I mean, Olberg is much more athletic, much longer.
Ran at him like a lunatic.
Feels longer at least. I might take a shot at Menafield too. Azamat's like he's good but not great, but Menafield does have like he can have the nuke. I think he's gotten more well-rounded as the years have gone on. I feel like it's kind of like a dog or pass. Is kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I kind of like Azamat. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because what we saw him do to Devin Clark and Jacoby. I'm not a hater of Azamat. This is his first fight in a little bit. But
yeah, it has been a little bit since we've seen him.
And I think he's a little bit older, which is a little bit concerning. Or maybe he just looks old, and I'm saying that. He's 35.
35. I mean, Lonzo Menafield's 36.
So, I mean, they're around the same age. Yeah, so.
Menafield's got fucking reach on him, too. He's got 5 inches on him.
Yeah. I don't hate that it's funny. Azamat, you see his name, you see Russia. He fights out of New Jersey. So,
yeah,
this is the same.
Dirty Jersey
same
guy.
Amount of the same trip for both these guys. But I don't know. I kind of look at Azamat as a decent. I don't think I want to play him, but I've never been a fan of Menafield either.
And then onto the main card. The main card is the main card the one that starts at 12? No, the main card starts at 3 on ABC. We've got Mackenzie, Dern, and Loopy kicking things off. Loopy is plus 102, Dern minus 122. Or no, Alvarez and Brenner?
Yeah, that's the first one.
That kicks things off. Okay, sorry. Joel Alvarez and Elvis Brenner kicks the card off. Alvarez minus 192, Brenner plus 160. Stay tuned for the thoughts on Dern and Loopy. That's up next. Brenner first.
I think Ev and I disagree here, so Ev, you want to go first?
Yeah, I like Alvarez. I mean, he's obviously huge for the division, and the weight, making the weight's always a concern with him. It's always going to be in this weight class. I like Brenner, and I just mentioned him. Like the Guram moment was incredible. I don't know, Brenner's a dog, so it's like if things get really extended, you never know. But Alvarez, I just think, has a lot of just the length, the size, there's a lot of tools, the grappling. I don't know. I think he gets it done here. I think he imposes well the size. Yeah, I like Alvarez here a good bit, to be honest.
I'm kind of closing in on really liking Brenner. Because what we know about Alvarez is he's a finisher, but like Brenner doesn't get finished. And I know that's what you say about someone until they get finished, but Brenner's a fucking dog. And we've seen Alvarez kind of like he's good. We know that, but we know Brenner's at a better gym. He's pretty good at wrestling. And also like Brenner's pretty good at BJJ, and obviously we know that Alvarez is slick on the ground, but I just think like I see this even like a Brenner round 2, round 3, like Alvarez round 1 could destroy him. But we saw that with Guram too, and Brenner just finds ways to win. I kind of like it, especially at this dog price. Plus 1 over at DraftKings, obviously, he's plus 160.
Yeah.
I don't know. This line's been interesting. It was there, then it went down. Now it's back up there. I just kind of did a little bit of a Dennis Rodman, and I was like this, explaining like how he rebounds, but it was up there, then it went down. Now it's back up, yeah. But This is a fight, man. This is a
good fight.
If there's something we can all agree on here, this is a fire fight, and I wouldn't be shocked if I'm wrong because there's a lot of variance here. But that's why I'm kind of leaning towards the underdog.
That I feel like I'm leaning towards Brenner as well, but I have no idea. I feel like this could be fight of the night for sure.
Joel Alvarez does have moments where you're like, this guy could be champ.
Yeah.
Now I will say though, what Arman Sarukian did to him is one of the like most dominant fuck you fights I've ever seen from two guys that are very good. Like sometimes we'll have like minus 800s and like Armin like took his soul. And that's not really even any disrespect to Joel Alvarez. Like Armin's just like, I mean, he's unbelievable.
Now Dern and Loopy. Again, Dern is the favorite, minus 122, Loopy plus 102. I think I like Dern here. I think I bet her at minus 122 as well.
This is a tough fight to predict because it's like how Loopy wins is with takedowns, but Dern won't care about going to the ground that much.
No.
But like, will she find a submission?
I think she could.
I like Dern.
I mean, I haven't betted. I'm going back. I kind of love Loopy though. Like I've always been a Loopy guy.
You are a Loopy guy.
Yeah, I love Loopy. Her wrestling's just dynamite.
It is. Dern's got good wrestling too, though.
Yeah. Dern at points.
I think
like,
Dern's going to be stronger.
I wonder if who'll be tuned in for this one, this bad boy.
For this spinning back fist?
No. Dern.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ms. Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Also, jiu-jitsu and MMA have turned Mark Zuckerberg. He's a bro now. He's just
like a cool guy. Yeah, he's got curly hair. He's wearing chains.
Got like TikTok hair, chains. And he's like, Donald Trump's sick.
Chama.
He's gonna start being like Chama. Yeah. Like, what a guy.
He's gonna start like greeting world leaders with like the fucking jiu-jitsu fucking
yeah. Unbelievable.
Now we've got a possible retirement fight here. Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa minus 625 to Tony Ferguson's plus 455. Ferguson is sparring for the first time in like 7 years for this fight. Put in 100-something rounds. The narrative in the group chat this weekend, I think from Lee, was not the narrative. The question was, what does Tony Ferguson have to get up to for you to consider betting him?
We're there.
We're there. Okay.
I'm dying in that cage with that man. He's sparring again. He's back. Like now, I have a pit in my stomach that he's gonna win this, and he's gonna be like we're back. I'm back. I'm going on a run for the title.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a chance. I really don't think he's gonna win this fight though. Like he has moments of success even in his last couple fights that are horrible, but I don't know. I just think Michael Chiesa is going to somehow get him to the ground and submit him.
That's what I'm afraid of that Chiesa. Like, is he going to be able to just wrestle him? Like, is that going to be too? Is the size going to be too much? Is it? Because we've seen him get, especially the end of his, like when his run, when things started to go south for him, we saw everyone wrestle the shit from Charles to Neil to, I agree. There's part of me that agrees with Jack Mack. Like, listen, Lord knows I would never even parlay piece like Michael Chiesa minus 625 ever. I will not do that. I refuse to do that. If I was gonna bet it, it would be a sprinkle on Tony on the money line. But yeah, there's part of me that kind of thinks this is like a really boring fight. Chiesa wrestles his way to a 15-minute just blah fight, decision win. So I probably, if I had to, I would bet a little something on Tony, but I don't. It's like, how can you feel great about it? How could you?
You can't. You can't feel good about this fight in general, in any facet. Marlon Chito Vera versus Davison Figueiredo up next. This is a banger of a fight. Marlon Vera plus 114, Figueiredo minus 135. I might be just at the point with Chito where if I can get him at plus money, I think I'm taking him. Like, even if it's plus 114, I think I'm betting Chito.
Yeah, Evan and I were talking about this earlier in the week. Chito, I know he didn't look great against Sugar, but like Chito's had it's not like Davidson's going to Corey Sandhagen him. And also Davidson, we saw him against Cody, who we know kind of stinks now, no disrespect. And then Rob Font, it's Rob Font. And I'm not taking anything away from Davison, but I think Cheeto's a huge step up. And we really may see like he's going to be bigger than him and whatnot. And I think I like Cheeto here, especially at dog money.
Yeah, I like Cheeto a lot. And I'm a big fan of Figueiredo.
Yeah.
I just, in this spot with this price, I agreed like the match, like the Rob Font is, I think, definitely on the back end. He had taken a lot of damage. I don't know if I want to say he's like shot, but I think he might be compared to like some of the elite guys at bantamweight at this point that he had been competing with for a while. The only thing I worry about with Vera even is just like he took such a beating in March. But he's just his chin is like unbreakable, knock on wood. I mean, the knee that he took from Sugar was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
The fact that he even after all that landed like a vicious body shot essentially at the bell. I almost would be curious to see what that fight would look like if it was like a 30 seconds longer, a minute longer.
Yep.
But I like Vera at this price. I'll definitely be betting him.
Then the co-main event, Shara the Bullet Magomedov versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Shara the Bullet minus 250. Is he probably going to go in there and roll? Yes. Am I going to bet him? No, I don't like this guy. He's a villain. He came to America.
I like that breakdown right there. That's an awesome breakdown.
I just don't like him. I don't like this guy. So I cannot, in good faith, bet him, even though I know for a fact he's going to go in there and fucking knock this guy's head off.
Ola Jakes is just I feel like he should be able to get going on Shara here. Like, kind of push the wrestling, push his style of striking and whatnot. But then there's also the side where he gets going and Shara just catches him. And also, Mikhail's been a little bit weird. Like, I don't how much does he care? He before his last fight or he was saying that he doesn't really even train anymore, or he's not in a gym. He kind of just like spars with his friends. And then somebody commented on his Instagram saying, "Hey, like, you want to, like, what happens if you lose this?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll probably just go back to KSW," which, I mean,
KSW,
which is great for him, but like, he was fine with it. There's no, like, I need to stay in the UFC, which, I mean, he's Polish and like KSW, obviously. Who
was the person we saw that said this week who said if I lose, I'm retiring from all sport? Someone had that line this week. Like a fighter, someone commented like
Mikhail.
Was that him?
Yeah, but I think the translation was wrong.
Gotcha.
It wasn't I'm retiring from all sport. He was like, I'm gonna leave you. He's like, I'll go to KSW.
It's so funny,
which would make a lot of sense because he's Polish, but like,
yeah.
But
he's like, what? It's like a wrestler in WWE being like, I don't fucking care if they fire me. I'm going to AEW.
And then also, I think the UFC, they just love Shara Bullet. And I think they
do. They like him right now. Yeah.
And I think they kind of want him to, like, this is one where they're like, all right, here's another win for you. Like, you have to perform. You have to show up.
Get him out in front of, I mean, he's also in Abu Dhabi. Like, he's one of those people that can't fight in front of a lot of crowds, right?
No, it's not like that. It's with the eye. It's the eye situation.
That's right. That's right.
To America. He came to America.
He can't fight in America. Yes. I saw him in Vegas, and I was like, oh, fuck. I just wrote this blog calling him the worst guy in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to sell myself on Mikhail. I do. But it's everything Jack said is the hesitation. Is his head in it? Is he training hard? It's almost like he's accepting defeat before it even happens. There's so many things going against him. Like his overall skill set, because I think he would have some wrestling upside, and he can strike. Like, it's not like he just has to potentially wrestle to win. Like, he has the striking to compete on the feet for sure. It's just tough when a guy who has like all the hype in the world, all the confidence in the world, the UFC wants him to win, is in it. He's gonna have like the crowd's gonna be behind him, everything, and then you have this guy who's like decent, but you don't know he's in it. That's just a tough thing to sell. It's tough to get myself to put my money behind that. Although I really want to. There's part of me that also really wants to because I see 2-1 and I'm like, Shar is going to get exposed at some point, and when that happens, I want to be there. But I don't know if this is it.
I will be there no matter what when it happens.
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen. No, it will happen.
I just don't know if
it's
the guy to do it. Yeah. And then the main event for the UFC on ABC card, Corey Sandhagen takes on Umar Nurmagomedov. Sandhagen plus 260, Umar minus 325. Another one where logic says Umar will win this fight. Obviously, as the odds also say. But if I can get Corey Sandhagen plus 260, I think I'm taking Corey Sandhagen plus 260. And like that, I'm fine taking a shot on him. Like his best route is grinding out a decision. Probably he's not finishing Umar. I don't think.
I kind of like Umar by sub.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ev. I think
plus
he can get the back
right now on DraftKings. What Jack Mag said was exactly kind of what I've been thinking this week. Was like because I wanted to bet Sandhagen. There was probably this get me to Sandhagen like plus 260. He can strike, but then when I think about the way, even though I thought he won the Dillashaw fight, even though Dillashaw was able to hold him against the cage a lot of the fight on a torn ACL, I don't know. Yeah, I just think Umar is going to be able to just do what he does, just like grapple, wrestle. I think maybe eventually wears him out, like gets a back take. I mean, we're in. This is. Do you think Khabib's going to be there?
He is. He said he's going to be in his corner,
right?
He said,
Khabib in the corner. We know lose.
Yeah, it's a cheat code. Yeah.
I'll be on Umar by sub.
I'm gonna take a sprinkle on Corey. It's not gonna be a full $5 unit, but it's gonna be a sprinkle.
Okay.
I might put Umar in a money line parlay as well. We'll see.
And then we've got PFL, as we mentioned earlier, the Friday night PFL card. We've got a ton of good fights on this card. Dakota Dacheva, as we mentioned, is fighting Jenna Bishop. Dakota's probably huge favorite in that. Like minus 1,000 again or no?
No, it's minus 500.
Okay, so you're getting her a good price.
And let me just check. DraftKings will get this. They'll have more props as the fight gets closer, but I wouldn't be surprised if she her KO is minus 150. Yeah. Inside the distance is around like minus 200. So I mean, like we may have a parlay opportunity there. But there's been some buyback on Jenna Bishop.
We've got Goltsov versus Timothy Johnson. That's going to be, hopefully we'll see a knockout in that. Goltsov is minus 440. Timothy Johnson plus 340.
He's up to 525 now. Goltsov. I think he does win by knockout.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice to see a big knockout in Nashville. I'm sure the crowd would go crazy. You got a UFC veteran fight, Liz Carmouche versus Talia Santos. Talia Santos minus 258. Liz Carmouche plus 210. Ev, maybe you're good luck for Talia. Just they'll bring you in the cage after she wins again.
I'd be down for it. I'll sell it. I'll have Talia in a parlay. I definitely think she's a rightful favorite here, and I mean, even Carmouche, like she actually came through from big in Connecticut, but
true,
she was down on the cards.
Yeah,
she was down on the cards, and pulled off a crazy last minute sub.
That was crazy.
So, very much appreciate her for doing that in my pockets as well. But yeah, I like Talia here.
And then there's the Linton Vassell versus Oleg Popov fight. Popov minus 285, Vassell plus 230. That'll be a good fight as well, I think. I feel like that might be one where I'd take a shot on Vassell.
Yeah, I
like Popov, but I'm.
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna be even like a Popov, Goltsov parlay. Maybe even throw Talia in there too. Get it maybe to plus money. Or closer to at least.
Again, the card we're talking about, as you see on the screen, Friday, August 2nd, this Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Plus. If you want to go in person, you could get tickets as well.
Yeah, I also like Tyrell. I mean, I kind of like Tyrell Fortune against Sergey Bilistini. They fought before in Bellator, but there was it ended via DQ, shots to the back of the head. But I've always been kind of a fan of Tyrell. It gets to get some wrestling going and whatnot. And then he's also, I mean, Tyrell. He's won by KO. Like he's a heavy puncher too. I'm just looking at the other fights because obviously there's some other. I don't want to go all favorites. You kind of get there sometimes with PFL. But yeah, Cody Law, Zach Hicks, Sergio Castillo, Dedrick Sanders, Jaleel Willis. I feel like
that'll be a good fight. That I think that's the closest odds on the whole card is the Willis fight, Willis versus Ivy.
Yep, and so it will be good. We've seen Anthony Ivy in the PFL before, Jaleel. So yeah, we'll be there. Should be exciting. Will be a good night of fights. Excited to see Dakota in there, and then obviously heavyweights throw it out.
There you go. So if you're in Nashville, buy tickets, and then if you're sticking around in Nashville for the weekend, come to Pup Punk on Saturday night. It's going to be a very fun time. We've got UFC Saturday afternoon. We've got PFL Friday night. Good weekend of fights. Good weekend of combat sports ahead of us. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.